on you to doubt El Dandy.
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic. This is 5-time the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah! G'day, this is Big Brody Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is the Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term kayfabe?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
I in the game, I'm champion, I'm Triple H, Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the choke slam on face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, tell like country muscle. If you suffer like tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the thing, you best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm degenerate, I love it, yes, I love it. If you ain't down with that, then I got two words for you, suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, holding up the club. Let's be busy, 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. But a square peg in a round hole just never seems to fit. And you
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Good evening and welcome to Australia's longest running wrestling podcast, where we look at everything going on around the world of wrestling, particularly down there in Colac tonight. That's right. It's Wrestle Radio Australia, making chicken salad time. And I'm joined, as always, by the man himself, the guy who rocks a beanie almost as good as me. It's the one, the only, Todd Eastman. Beastie, how you doing?
I was going to say, Matt, I'm sorry I stole your gimmick. It's just a bit cold down here, up here tonight. So,
yeah, let's swap.
I was going to go for the normal hat, but I was like, I don't have the hair to support. So I'm just going to go with a beanie tonight.
As those who have seen in the podcast, neither do I. Those who watch us live on Twitch TV, you can head on over to twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio AU to catch the show each and every Thursday. Now, you may be wondering where Lachlan is. As long-time viewers know, Todd and I pull occasional pranks, and we told Lachlan Dusky was on the show tonight, and he mysteriously got a virus or something.
Technically, he is on the show.
Technically, we weren't kidding. No, we didn't do that. Lachlan is feeling a bit poorly, and we hope he gets better soon. And we told him Dusky was on the show. Anyway, speaking of Dusky, he is in the opening match of Mayhem Pro, a Clash of Colac. Really, really good show. I saw regular listener and commenter Nick Galea a couple of days later. I didn't make this show. I was at the MCW show either the weekend of or the weekend after, and Nick was waxing lyrical about how good this show was, and he's not wrong. I do want to compliment the commentary team early in this before I forget, who are really beginning to gel as a good little three-man booth. Three-man is very difficult, and they seem to do it quite well. So I'm really, really enjoying them as a commentary team. Well done to all three of them.
If you remember, like every time we reviewed one of these shows, the biggest drawback was there was no commentary. So now they've added that commentary, and it really does help tell like the story of some of these angles. If you're not a regular watcher of Mayhem Pro, just to get that little background, and also helps some of the guys get their gimmicks over a little bit more if you've got that commentator that can tell the story, tell the backstory of the person.
Yeah. And also shout out to Kano. other side, Kano, who did a really nice job of ring announcing. You know, he showed up and you know, really did a great job, busted foot and all. Really well done to Kano for a nice job in ring announcing. We giggled and smiled because Alex Fireheart has popped in and they said, you know, in hindsight, I'm surprised I haven't resorted to a beanie yet in Melbourne. Yeah, some of us have more than one reason for rocking the beanie, mate. So Clash of Colac, which was opened up with Edward Dusk defeating Tommy A. Todd, what did you think of this?
Good little solid opener. I think I don't quote me on this, but I think this is like the first time Dusky's been at Mayhem. So it was a nice little intro to put him on there.
In ring, he has like I bumped into him when I was at the Mayhem show. So it's his first time in ring, but he's been visiting them because, of course, he lives out that way. I shouldn't have said that. He works out that way. So, you know, sorry, Ed. Second match is TJ
taking the heat right off Lachlan.
Matty Pearce and Shaq. Yeah. I am. I'm a dead man. Next time he sees me, let's move on. TJ Wild defeated Matty Pearce, A-Shaq, and Pumpkin Paul Fury in a four-way match. What did you think of this?
Really good. It's a nice little... I'm not always a massive fan of like the multi-man four-ways just because it tends to be like spot, not really much story. And I'm very much a story wrestling type guy when it comes to match. I love those types of matches. But I liked it because I thought it got across a lot of the guys, like it got their gimmicks across a lot more. I would have loved to have seen like Pumpin' Paul Fury win this one because he had the majority of the crowd behind him for most of this match. So like it would have been nice to see him get that win just for that crowd to really get up for it. But yeah, but it was good. I mean, the spot they did with it was a pity that like Paul grabbed two guys, had two of them in the fireman's, and then one of them snuck off the back before the other guy, somebody else, like super kicked him. I'd like for both of the guys to have been on his back still when he got super kicked, so he could have thrown them both back. But again, that's like 1%ers, 100% 1%ers. I liked it for what it was, though. I thought it was good.
I agree with you. I think Pumpin' Paul Fury both has a great following, obviously, from that crowd and also from the Oz Pro crowd the other week as well. Pumpin' Paul Fury had a great showing. So I think we're going to see a bit more of him around the place. I like this a lot. I think that for a multi-man match, early on the show, they really did a great job. After what was essentially as good as Tommy A and Edward Dusk was, it was a bit of a foregone conclusion match. You know, you got the feeling that they were going to give the win to Dusky on his debut down there. But this second match, I thought really, you said it, established the characters and also gave us nice moments of chemistry through all four. And I think that having that and moving it in the direction they did and the non-stop action of it, I really liked it. There was a lot to like here.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be the fact that, like, I kind of wanted Paul Fury to win because I've seen him more often. Like, I'm more familiar with him. Like, I haven't really seen A-Shaq. I haven't really seen Matty Pearce. I can't remember if I've seen TJ Wild. I might have before, but it wasn't the name that stuck in my head. Whereas when Paul came out, I'm like, oh, like literally saw him on Oz Pro the other week.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I still really liked it. I like TJ Wild as a winner because the other thing about this is clearly four guys who, you know, they're earlier in their careers. They're not as prominent, visible as others. And I think giving the win to TJ actually really lifts him because people
I don't hate I don't hate the fact that I don't hate who won it, but
No.
I'm more of
No.
a fan perspective. It was like, yeah, I would have liked to see Paul win it.
Yeah, fair enough. Following that, two of my favorite tag teams, actually. The Physicals retaining the Mayhem Pro Tag Team title over Big Rig Fox and the J-Stick JXT for the tag titles. There was no way this was going to be bad. Todd, what did you think?
This was probably my match of the show.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, because you know how much I always wax lyrical about how I like the Physicals. But I think Blacklisted, JXT and Rig did a really, really good job of looking after these guys and making them look fucking great as a tag team. Like, I think they were almost the perfect foils for them as like a heel team, and as like I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that they played, again, like Physicals play that babyface in peril very, very well. It's a good little thing that they've hit on, and they're doing really well. One thing I will say is, like, you know how they've got their finishing move? They did a double super kick and they moved into a different finish. I would love to see them do like the Rockers double fist drop off the top rope as their finisher.
That wouldn't be bad.
I think it would look so good. Double super kick into just over the turnbuckles, back up, double fist drop.
Oh yeah, yeah, that could look all right.
That's the fun. Like, I know that they like the Fantastics, and I know that they're a big fan of that. But they remind me so much of AWA Midnight Rockers.
Midnight Rockers more than the Rockers, yes.
Yes, yes.
And by that, I mean they were a lot freer to do a lot more flashy stuff, and they were younger, considerably younger, in their AWA heyday. If people are looking for a great series, Doug Summers and Buddy Rose
with Sherry as their manager against the Rockers,
and Pretty Boy Doug Summers against the Rockers. Amazing matches.
One match in particular had Blood on the Sand. It was called an AWA show. Blood on the Sand.
It's one of the bloodiest matches in AWA history.
Yeah, really, really good. I know because I've still got the VHS of that somewhere. With a bleached blonde, a highlighted blonde Eric Bischoff as the host.
Yes. And you know how Sean does that amazingly freakish thing, and some people don't know this, but he kept his blade in the corner of his mouth.
Yeah. That's guys that chew tobacco a lot.
Oh yeah.
That's what it would be. He's just used to sitting shit there and. Yeah,
you know he chews tobacco.
Or at least he used to. I don't know if he does now.
Listen to the voice.
At least he used to.
Yeah.
But no, I think this was match of the show for me. I know that's a big call, but
just finishing this story quickly. The person who taught him to do that was Buddy Rose.
Yeah.
So
that was right.
But yeah, I agree. This was absolutely match of the night. The Physicals are so good, and you're quite right. Fox is such an underrated worker. Like, JXT gets a lot of flowers and deserves it too, but by geez, Fox is underrated. Whether it's Fox or Funtime Phil or whatever you call him, the bloke is underrated.
The fact that he can play those two, I'd say, characters, but anywhere he goes, and like as soon as he comes out, if he's named that, they go, okay, this is the guy we're going to watch tonight.
Yeah.
Like if he comes out as like Rig, oh, okay, this is the bad guy, we're going to boo him. If he comes out as Funtime Phil, oh, Funtime Phil, I love him. You know what I mean? That's a credit to how good he is.
I think it's completely accepted that this is... It's also that thing of, I'm seeing Fox for a while. Like, I think they're going to keep he and JXT as a unit for a little while.
I think that whole three... Yeah.
Chase
that whole three group. That whole
Yeah,
group
yeah,
of
the
him
trainers.
and Jake and yeah,
the trainers at
which is
Mayhem.
good. Yeah,
Which is great. More on that a bit later. But I like so much about the physicals against Blacklisted. I really do.
Yeah.
And I hope that we see more and more of them because I mean, the physicals are even in the Royal Rumble, not the Ballroom Brawl this year. The Ballroom Brawl, not the ballroom, but it's going to be fantastic anyway. But the physicals are there, and I'm really excited for that because I would expect that JXT will be there, and I would also kind of expect that Fox might be there as well. So
maybe the thing is with that is that it's only a 20-man.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a real limited spots there for. I think there's only I think it was 4 or 5 that haven't been announced out of the names that are coming out of it. So it's really hard to know. Yeah. I've got I have an idea, and I know we're not talking about MCW, but we'll just quickly. I got this real weird feeling that we might see a Duke Hudson or someone show up.
I mean, if Sexton shows up,
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, if he shows up, he'll probably show up as Elliot Sexton.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's not like Buddy Murphy showed up as Matt Silver.
That's true. And he hasn't been Sexton for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine him showing up and him going nose to nose with Robbie Thorpe.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
That's fun.
That'll be great. That'll be great. And of course, if he shows up, he'll show up as a face. Oh, you got me thinking now. I'm not going to be there.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
I'm traveling next weekend, as you might know. All right. I thought this match was great. Seek it out. Make sure you see this match. I think we should start to kind of emphasize that when we're talking about these shows because you and I have both called this our match of the night, but really seek out this match.
That being, I know we talked last week, but not last week, the week before, I think it was about OzPro. They've put a lot of their matches now from the full show up as individual matches. So if you want to see an individual match, you can go to the OzPro YouTube and search it out and watch that individual match. You don't necessarily have to get the full show and scan through to the match you want to see. So that's a pretty good idea from OzPro. Anyway, the next match we had here was for the Mayhem Pro Internet title. It was Erica Reed defeating Nate Hunter. Jeff, what did you think? I know we're both massive fans of Erica. What did you think of the match?
Oh, there was no way this was going to be bad. Nate Hunter is one of Melbourne's finest new workers. Really. The guy's got so much charisma. Sorry about this, Nate, but you've got a punchable face. You just want to punch him. And he's a really good talent. In ring, he's a really good talent. And I don't think Erica had to walk him through this match much at all. I think that he really kept his end of the deal up, did great work. He's got a nice heater outside the ring in Xavier Sinclair. And I think that, there's something really nice about this. Yeah, I like this top to bottom, and I like the little bit of storyline work afterwards. What did you think, mate?
Yeah, I completely agree. As I was watching this match, I was just like, you know what? If I lived in Melbourne, I'd be really trying to say I want to work with Nate Hunter. I'd love to manage him because I just think I could see all the stuff I could do with someone who's that comfortable being a heel and that comfortable embracing that heat from the crowd. I'd love to work with a guy like that. I love working with guys like that.
As you know, I managed to get an interview with him very early, much, much earlier on in the year. And you just get the feeling there's a kid with his head screwed on 100% correct. He knows what he wants, and he's got single eyes for it. And whichever of the bigger companies pick him up, or if they all pick him up, you've got a great young worker on your hands.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's got so much potential. And he was I don't know if this was her first defense since Mayhem Mania, maybe her second, but it's a great choice. A great choice from the team to have him in there, because like there is not one person in that crowd that was going to go for him over Erica, and like Erica as well, her selling, selling the leg even after the match, and then when she does like a run in later on the match, still selling that knee, very smart, so very good,
really good work, Erica. I actually wanted to point that out, and I'm glad you did, mate, because I thought it was very, very smart work from her to have her constantly focusing and selling the knee. I thought this was great. Yes.
Very good, man. And I think the only reason that it didn't stick out to me as like the match of the show is just because I already expected it to be really good. So going in, because like I am a fan of Nate Hunter. I think he's, like I've said before, like just saying, I'd love to manage the guy if I lived in Melbourne, or if he lived up here. There'd be a guy like I'd like to work with him, because like I'm just a fan of his work. So I was always going to like this match because I've been a fan of Erica's for a long time, and I think Erica's hit that thing where this year, like last year going into this year, she is one of the best workers in the country. Like, man, woman, horse, I don't care what you like. She's one of the best wrestlers in this country because she's spent her time. She's done her, like, quote unquote apprenticeship. Like she's a fully formed, fully evolved wrestler now, and it's really good to see.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this, and the last person I said this about. If you like Erica, if you really like watching Erica work, run, go now. Don't leave it. Don't leave it for too long. I reckon. Because she's unique
for her.
Yeah. I hope for her. We hope for her. We say that sort of thing because we think there's something special. After that, this tag match was bonkers. It was a lot of fun. Xavier Sinclair, Killian Bates, and MJ Russo, formerly known as Zed Nitrox, defeated Matty Hayne, the Musketeer, and Happy Kai in a 6-man tag. Todd, what did you think?
Before I say what I think, we have a visitor. Hang on a second.
Oh, do we?
I can do this. Yeah, see if I can do this right. Add to stage. MC. Oh, you mother trucker.
Hey,
look at me working out technology as we go. Yeah, give me a second. Bang! Look at
that. Look who's joined us on the podcast.
Hey guys.
It's the paragon of Melbourne wrestling. It's the one and only Nick Galea. Nick, how you going, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Sorry, I'm really late. I've only been unemployed for one day, and it's already catching up with me. So.
Oh no! Look at you bum.
Congratulations.
Apologies about that.
No problem.
No, you're all right. Like I was saying before we started the show, I was saying to Jeff that I've been so out of it today that I didn't even message you during the day. I just sent you the link, and I'm like, I really probably should have messaged him during the day just to see how he was going.
Apologies for that.
Not a problem. I know you were at this show. As I said, when we started, I mentioned that we caught up. I think it was the night after or the week after, and you were very enthused about this one, Nick. We're just having a look now. We've just finished having a look at the Mayhem Pro Internet title match. Unsurprisingly, a very good match. Erica Reed defeated Nate Hunter. Any quick thoughts on that one, mate?
I thought it was great. Erica's. Obviously, Erica. I thought this was a really good showcase match for Nate. It's obviously he's had the character since the get-go, but it was this was the first time, well, not first time, but he's really of late getting to show some wrestling chops to go with it as well. And I love how old-fashioned he is. Reflection. But I love the shirt as well. Coming out with Nate Hunter is my favorite wrestler shirt. There's a real old that between that and the Aaron
Chicago Bulls
shirt that was out for a while as well. It's someone really is bringing that old fashioned influence too. Yeah, I thought it was great, and the crowd was pretty mental for it too. So
yeah. You know, he speaking about that, and you've just triggered a thought. He reminds me a bit of Tully Blanchard. In that he's just you just really he's the kind of person that blokes go, I could take him. Oh, I reckon I could take. You know, he's that guy. Yeah, really good, big fans.
Like just a character that has no redeemable qualities whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I like about him.
And
I mean, they're definitely
Todd's a
leading.
Lakers fan, so being that he comes out to the Bulls music as well means you got a reason to hate him even more.
Yeah, but I like that because I'm a big fan of a shit stirrer.
Yeah, I've noticed. They're definitely building to something with him and Xavier Sinclair. And speaking of which, Xavier Sinclair was in the next match. It was a 6-man tag. Xavier Sinclair, Killian Bates, and MJ Russo, formerly known as Zed Nitrox, defeated Matty Hayne, the Musketeer, and Happy Kai. How did this one go for you, Todd? What did you think?
I know it was a bit of fun, but I felt like they were going, oh shit, we've got a couple of things here, but we don't really want to give them a singles match because we want to get all these other guys on the card as well. So we're just going to throw them all together into a tag. Like ideally, you would thought you would have wanted to see like Happy Kai and Zed like against each other because that was the sort of the one big thing coming into this match that was like an ongoing story, an ongoing concern. So that took me a little bit out of it. I tell you what, I don't know much about him, but the Killian Bates, he intrigues me. I want to see him in singles and see how he goes. Because just coming out with that gi and that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see what this guy has. If he's going to come out with a gi on, you better be able to back that up.
It's sorry, with Xavier. Yeah, I believe he's another one like he's a judoka, I believe. So he's pretty shoot. Or has some sort of grappling, like pretty legit grappling background from what I've heard. I really like this match because they're a company that's very much a long form storytelling sort of company. So obviously they're building to Russo and Happy Kai at some point, but they're going to make you wait for it as well, which I like that too. And I think Russo is great. Like he is just an unlikable character to such an end. Like I found him to be in Happy Gas. He was kind of like just a bit of like just there. But as a villain,
it was like it was very much like Happy Kai was carrying the water in that team.
Yeah, but as a villain, he's great, and like the guy can wrestle. He looks great, and now it's like it seems like he's got a real purpose to it. And obviously, he's got the match this weekend with Dusk as well, which is obviously a big show of faith in the company for him as well. So. Yeah, it was great. And like I thought it was a really good showcase of. Obviously, there's a lot of guys in Mayhem that get a lot of hype, and these are some of the guys that are in the next wave, and some of them like it's a testament to how like impressive the school is that they've got like waves of guys coming now.
The guys coming through, yeah, very, very true, very, very true. Which is smart. Like it's smart to not just burst them on. It's smart to just bring them up slowly. Because like we've got guys like Nate Hunter that can do it. We've got guys like the Physicals. We've got like Johari and you know what I mean. They've got They've got like your pros, basically your teachers. So you got like JXT of that level. Then you got those guys just under like Nate and who I just mentioned. And then you got these guys who in like 6 months. Maybe they will be up where thing, and then Nate and that will be up there, and then just joined up with like JXT and the thing, and then JXT, if he's like, I don't really feel like wrestling like this week because I've got a lot of stuff I want to do back there, is quite comfortable with being able to go, well, I can just hang backstage because these guys can carry the show quite easily now.
Yeah, I'll take a break for a second, but even on a similar thing to that, I don't know if either of you guys have seen any of the stuff being shared from their account. Is there are a bunch of guys, I think about 5 or 6, making their debuts in the Rumble this weekend.
Yeah, the Musketeer was one of them.
No, sorry. Well, obviously with in MCW, but with the Relentless Rumble this weekend, there's a bunch of guys who I believe are having their first matches. And if you look on their social media, they've shared a bunch of, I think every single person making their debut has put up some form of promo, some form of character development. They've already got their socials sorted, so it's a thing of, obviously once they've got a couple of matches down the line and they're it's a promotion based on a wrestling school at the end of the day.
Yep.
Is if they come to someone like yourself, Todd, there's it's not just someone coming in with kick pads and boots saying, "Oh, I can have a great match." It's like they're presenting something to you as almost like a resume, and it's I think that's one of the most impressive things about it, and it's actually a thing that, obviously, when we're talking about wrestling schools in this country, you talk about EPW, you talk about Wright City, you talk about PWA. I think this is actually a really underrated thing that is showing, hey, this is actually a really fucking good, they're not just a small promotion, it's actually a proper promotion.
I completely agree with you, Nick, and I'd like it on record that I didn't swear tonight. And then
sorry, I've demonetized the podcast.
You're fine, mate.
Everyone unemployed.
You're fine, mate. It's normally me that within about a minute and a half drops an F-bomb. But I've been really good tonight.
Because Lachlan's not here to keep everyone in check.
That's right.
I think
you are right, though. It's JXT's strong suit is that whole social media, graphics, promos game. And to have him, when you've got him in the school and you're actually he's actually making that part of the learning. If you guys want to be professional wrestlers, this is a big part of it. It's something that I stress. I know that a lot of guys don't do it either. And it really, it baffles me why guys don't. I always say to guys, even in promotions that I work for, I don't know why you all aren't filming promos and putting them up, or at least filming them and going, hey, can you look at this? Can you look? A promo is the best way to get your character across, and you don't have to take a bump.
Yeah.
It's so easy. You don't have to bump. You just talk.
I mean, did people learn nothing from Zack Ryder?
Yeah.
Look at how over he got just by shooting promos on a video camera and putting them on YouTube.
But you're right. I think it's Damian Slater today on his Instagram put up a whole run thing of stuff professional wrestlers should know that promoters love, and it is dead on. If you get a chance, go and check it out. His World Beater Wrestling, go and check that out because it is dead on. I read every one of the slides. I'm like, yep, that's like a dream dude for me.
Well,
and it looks like that's what the JXT is teaching these guys, which is amazing.
Which is great. In terms of the match, I'm going to bring it back. In terms of the match, the 6-man match that we were talking about, MJ Russo or Zed Nitrox or whatever he is calling himself is going to be a star. The guy's just really good. I agree. I want to see Happy Kai and MJ Russo go at it one-on-one. And that's why I'm glad I haven't gotten it yet. Because, let the story play out. They're not going to lock up one-on-one for a while. It's clearly, a story that the Mayhem boys are telling, and I'm all for it. I think it's great. Really, really, really good stuff. Lockie Hendricks defeated Jahari. Nick, what did you think?
I thought this was really, really, really good. I've been saying, speaking the words of Jahari for a while. I think he is criminally underrated. Like, I'm actually surprised like that he hasn't popped up in bigger promotions. Yeah, obviously, like they did the angle with him and Sid with Jab and a few other things like that. But like, really enjoyed the match. Lockie, I think, went out of his way to make Jahari look like $1 million, but Jahari also had it to begin with as well. So it's like you've got a guy who's already like, probably 8 or 9 tenths the way there already to being great, and then you got someone who's a seasoned pro who has no qualms about making the other person, like going out of his way to make the other person look good. Well, of course you're going to get really good pro wrestling. And the crowd was really like, I think a little bit subdued at first, but they really got into this live as it went on because they wanted to see Lockie get his ass kicked because he was just such a detestable little shit. And that's 2 swears now. Sorry.
That's right.
We'll fly now.
Shit's
mate.
okay. Shit's okay.
Don't worry. We've opened.
Who cares
the
about the rain when you're already wet? But yeah, really, really good match. I'm actually genuinely surprised that Jahari. I don't think Jahari's even done like pre-show stuff at MCW or anything yet. I would actually see him as somebody. I'm going to making a big call is in 2020, the back end of 2023, early 2024. They had Ryan Rapid on the pre-shows at MCW, and he obviously got a role because he just caught on and eventually earned his place. I think Jahari could be a guy that if they put him in front of a crowd, like to me, his presentation and his personality and just like he's a very unique sort of presentation is I think he projects beyond the venues that like bigger than the rooms that Mayhem are in. And which is a testament to how well he's been trained and how well he's come through as well. So I would love to see him on a bigger show in the future.
You know what? It would have been good to have him. Like, I know you had to have Ugg in something at Ballroom Brawl, but it would have been good if Erica is like, Jahari's my partner against
100%. Obviously, with what comes later as well after this, they have like the history they have as characters, but also the chemistry they have as performers as well.
Yeah. So like it would have been nice, but I realised you got to have Ugg in something coming into it. You can't just have Ugg not doing anything.
Well, they've also got history as characters too, so that also makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It makes sense. The little bit of business after this, a lovely piece of storytelling. Lockie won with it was a subtle chokehold, about as subtle as a kick in the head. And he wouldn't let Jahari go. So Erica ran out and sort of pulled him off. And now they've made a tag match for Lockie and whoever he can get. It's Nate Hunter. It's been announced for Saturday. And it's going to be Nate Hunter and Lockie Hendricks against Jahari and Erica Reed. What I like is that the winner in all of this is absolutely going to be Nate Hunter. It just elevates him so much.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I didn't understand, though. I didn't understand Lockie jumping the barricade, going into the crowd, and then jumping back over the barricade, back into the ring.
I think it's just some heat.
It was like he couldn't. Yeah, I know, but like if that's me and if that's my guy, I'm going, fuck it, we're going out the front door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I think also on it is that like as a character, it's just such a especially in a country town, because if you're this venue, basically the back doors of that auditorium goes out to straight through to the front door, pretty much through the club. Is almost the thing on it is I could see some person who watches one wrestling show in a year, some bloke from the country go, why wouldn't you just go out the bloody front door? You pelican. Like it's almost like I almost see it might have been a deliberate thing to try and get under people's skin.
Agreed. Todd, what did you think of the match?
Yeah, really good. Like I think Nick hit it right on the head with it. It was a great little showcase for Jahari. Because it was weird because I was thinking, and maybe I missed it because I can't even remember if I watched Mayhem Mania. Did something happen at Mayhem Mania where they all just got released and became back who they were?
In the main event, Aaron and Joseph basically took off the robes and returned to being Sid and Jahari, and they turned on the cycle, which sets up the main event for obviously with Sid and Jab for the big show coming up too as well.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I'm like, did they just retcon them or they just go okay? But no, that makes complete sense then. I enjoyed this match. I think you are dead on with Jahari. He's got he's got a lot of future ahead of him, but it could also just be the thing of like he works really closely with Erica and works really closely with Sid, and they're just taking their time.
Yeah.
They're just taking
100%.
Because sometimes it's better to do that. Sometimes it's better to take your time and be absolutely cherry ripe for when you when you get a chance to make a big debut on like a Renegades or an MCW, and then 100%. You come out and you're a fully like I said about Erica before, like a fully formed, evolved wrestler, and like sometimes that doesn't take sometimes that doesn't take very long. Sometimes that takes a while, but when it clicks, then 100%. It's an easy job for you. So, but yeah, I really like the match. I like the way that he didn't win by like a sneaky knockout and then a pin. He won by choking him out, showing some viciousness. I love the fact that when Erica came out, she was still, like I said before, still selling that leg, still selling that, and they didn't I'm not cherry ripe. As soon as I went to the back and put some ice on it, I'm good to go again. She was still selling that leg like there's an issue here. So I really enjoyed that. I think the match as a whole was good. It got the job done what it was supposed to, because Lockie is supposed to be the big next challenger for Erica. So what better way to do it than take someone that she cares about and beat that guy? So I think it's really good.
Yeah, I agree entirely. I think there's something about Lockie Hendricks working with people greener than he is and newer to the game than he is. He is so bloody giving. And he does such good work that I'm honestly quite blown away every time I see him. And the beautiful thing is he's kind of justified to be pissed off. If you look at Lockie's story arc, he's justified. I thought this was great. I think Jahari's such a good worker. I agree with you both that he's going to wind up doing big things, and we're going to see a bit more of him. And it was a really pleasing match, and a lovely little angle afterwards, as I mentioned earlier. This led us to what was our main event, Sketch coming out of retirement with the King of Colac title and defeating Jake Navarra. Nick, how was this in the building?
This was mental. Like, I have said for ages that the King of Colac idea is, because there's variations on this match, is every show on this is, Sketch is the local boy, his hometown, and some, person from out of town, someone from the Big Smoke comes in to mess with the local country boy, and the crowd gets into it so much. And
well, it used to be like a
there were
promotion
points
itself,
in the match where
King of Colac was an actual promotion.
I think he used to run 2 or 3 shows a year.
Yeah, one-off shows.
But I've seen variations on this story. I think it's on YouTube that they did a cage match there where he won the belt from JXT, and it was absolutely feral. The crowd was just so into it. Just so into it, and it's which is what you want, right? When I say, hey, I like country town wrestling, this is what I'm talking about. And it's a basic formula. He's done it with JXT, he's done it with Carlo Cannon, he's done it with Tommy Hellfire. I think, probably just about every guy that's come through, but it works every show. And if they ran every month, it might not work, but being that, they run maybe twice a year, it's a surefire formula. And the fact of, I made a comment on it, but Sketch 2 years ago was in a pretty bad way health-wise, in a really bad way health-wise. And I think from what JXT told me, that was his second match back. I think he wrestled on one of the other Mayhem shows.
Yeah, he did.
You wouldn't have told. Like he looked the part. Like he obviously didn't come in half baked, but like he went at it in this match too. Like he went so at it, and I thought this was a belter of a match. I made a comment. I was sorry, and I will back off a bit. I was talking with some people who were involved in a promotion that uses plunder and things on shows, and I made a comment regarding it. With parts of the match that had certain elements that are frowned upon, but the crowd went nuts for it because they only did it once. Like it had some, and also the fact of it is not only was it a stunt with a piece of plunder, it didn't look like, here's the point of the match where I get out a light tube. It was these two guys are trying to kill each other so much that Jake literally grabs the first object that he can to try and swing at him because they hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I say, like, I like pro wrestling, like I like deathmatch with pro wrestling. That's what I'm talking about. Like it means more when it's got context.
Yes.
And that's my
death matches for the reason are good.
Sure.
Death matches for the reason are good. Death matches when they're just like you're walking into it going, two guys who've never met before are having a death match. It's like, why?
It's also the thing with it is I would bet 90% of that crowd had never seen a light tube thing in wrestling before. Like the majority of that crowd is WWE centric thing like that. That crowd reacted to the light tube spot like they'd seen someone get shot out of a cannon. And It's a thing of, it's amazing how much of a reaction you can get from things if they're not done all the time. Like if they're not, it's like you don't have to go to that extent.
That same company finished a tournament by having every individual in the tournament smash a light tube over their head. And people are going, well, how much can it hurt? Like, you've just completely destroyed everything.
It's a flavors of ice cream thing, I guess. And I guess there's 3 people on here who don't like that flavor of ice cream. So it's on like that particular flavor anyway. So, it is what it is. But the match was sick. Crowd loved it. And it was, it was a cool match. I'm like, I've said this on reviews before. I think Jake Navarra is criminally underrated. He's a guy who, he doesn't seem to have aspirations. Like he does this and just this, but the shows he pops up on, he's in shape. He goes, he has good matches. He puts people over. He's a pro. And like, he's obviously as important to the Mayhem as JXT and Phil are as well.
And Phil. Todd, what did you think of Sketch versus Jake Navarro?
Yeah, like Nick's 100% like Sketch comes out like you would think, or I would think like half being like the jaded wrestling fan that I am, thought he'd just walk out with a t-shirt on because the guy hasn't wrestled in fucking God knows how long. We're just going to get through this match. We've sold our tickets. We're fine. But he came out in tip-top shape and did not look like he'd missed a step at all. Like, he did like the running... What did he like a running fucking... Jesus. What's the word for it?
Oh, the shooting star?
There you go. Shooting star. You can tell I've commentated for a while, can't you? It was... And just pulled it off cleanly. Very cleanly. They worked the match well. You're 100% right when you say that stuff works when you don't use it all the time, and you get more out of things. Like I like equate it to like with me as a manager, why I don't let people bump me every show, because if I bumped every show, you're just going to get used to it. If I bump sparingly, when I do, it's going to get a pop. Like it's just a matter of it works with everything with wrestling. Like the most you can get away with not doing something, but teasing you're going to do something, the bigger pop you're going to get when you eventually do it. So stuff like that it works really well for it. These guys worked a really smart match. They obviously didn't want to they wanted to have stuff going forward, so that's why the ending was what it was, which was Blacklisted coming out and attacking and setting up things going forward. So yeah, I think that sets up. I think you're going to find that this year, or at least the calendar year that they're going to do their storylines in, Blacklisted are the new cycle.
Big bad, yeah.
Big
They're
bad.
the new. They're the new big bad. Exactly, which is what you should do. You should recycle these guys, bring them around, and so you always got something new. Because what the biggest problem with the NWO was, they just kept using them year after year, didn't cycle anyone in and out, and that's why it became stale and boring.
That and the fact that there are a whole bunch of schlubs in it. I agree, guys. I think this was a terrific main event. Using deathmatch really, really intelligently, as you both said. I thought this was a great show. It had everything.
Mm-hmm.
There was literally bits of everything in here. Look, you want to know where you can watch this show.
Don't say it. Don't you say it.
It is priceless to see this show. However, all you have to do is go into a website called YouTube and you put in Mayhem Pro Wrestling Clash of Colac and the event will come up at no cost to yourself. It is gratis on a video streaming website called YouTube.
Someone's got his thesaurus out tonight.
There you go. No, I'm just making this shit up as I go along. I'm way too ripped to do this.
Because you weren't here for the first sort of half of the review of the show, Nick. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite match of the show? Because I've already said my favorite match of the show was the tag match, because that's right up my alley of what I love.
I really, really liked the opener. I liked Dusk and Tommy. I'm a big fan of Tommy. I think the worst thing that happened with the whole OPW thing shutting down was that him and Kano were actually going to get a shot with some bigger guys on it, being local guys, and them losing that opportunity sucks for them, because I think they would do really good in that role. And just how surreal it was seeing Edward Dusk be the hand slapping, come on, baby, sort of, do you want me to hit him, kids? Sort of. I thought that was, and he looked to be having an absolute blast doing that. Like we mentioned that he's wrestling Russo this weekend. If he's now a part of the Relentless sort of system, that's how good of a get is that as somebody, obviously you've got they've got their three main coaches, but they've got just to sort of play it on it, is they've got on this show this weekend, you got Dusk, you got Sid, and you've got Waterman. So it's you've got champions from two of the biggest companies in the country in Rampage and Renegades, and you've got a guy who's been wrestling the best part of 2 decades, who's wrestled wrestled overseas and done the whole stuff as well. It's for the guys coming up, it's almost like an embarrassment of riches of people to pick the brains.
Yeah, it's a wealth of knowledge they can get from. It's good. Yeah,
and it's cool, especially because Dusk isn't on every show in Victoria either. He's a bit selective on, so him popping up on Mayhem, actually, I think it gives Mayhem a bit of a rub as well.
Yeah,
and it's good. Yeah. It's good for him, because he's really kind of new to doing this whole babyface thing. So working for Mayhem, he kind of maybe gets to try out stuff. He can do the babies and go, that really didn't work for me. Or he can, you know what I mean? It's a good little workout for him, really.
Yeah, but yeah, I had a lot of fun at the show. Anyone who follows me on social media, at least every couple of months I'll say how much fun I had going to a wrestling show out in the country. Which one, obviously the show itself, but also it's cool to get out and support, small business out in the sticks as well is always good too. And yeah, it's just a fun time. Like I will always put over King of Colac. I think they're a really fun a little event. So
Yeah, well, you did bully us into doing this, so.
Yeah, I heard all about that, Nick. No.
But no, it was a really good,
Yeah,
good show. Really good. Mayhem Pro is definitely a promotion to keep your eye on. Definitely check it out on YouTube for nothing.
And how much is it?
$0 dues.
Well, it depends. Like, because if you have YouTube Premium, it's like $9.99, and avoids all the ads. You see, so I mean,
it does avoid all the ads. Look, Mayhem are such a great company. They're such a young company and an up and coming company, and it's really, really exciting to see Mayhem performing, and Matt is one of their commentators. Matt, we put you over at the beginning, but the commentary team did a really nice job on this one, so well done.
Yeah, but Matt, here's the thing, brother. When you're going to do commentary and you introduce your two commentary partners, maybe introduce yourself.
That's very true.
Good note.
So
yeah,
do you know what the funny thing is? Lachlan done the same thing. When he was commentating, I'm like, you might want to introduce yourself, brother. Just let people know who you are. I know you want to get everyone over, but
the same sort of enthusiasm. Yeah, he's got the same sort of enthusiasm I have, but he's much better at expressing it than I ever will be. So.
But no, you were correct. It was good, and it was like I said at the start.
I think
it was the one thing we said that was the problem with watching. We found was the problem watching Mayhem Pro online was the fact that there was no commentary on it, and the fact that they fixed it and they've got people that are actually really good and know the product is an absolute bonus as well.
And just as a side note on that as well is, sorry, Jeff, and I just popped to my head on that as well, is that was a really good show with about 50% of the roster, because a big chunk of that crew were actually down the road in Geelong doing Lucha that evening as well. So it's like the fact that they've got a deep enough roster that they can do basically almost do two shows in two separate locations. Again, that's like they're quite a good little project coming along. So yeah. Sorry, Jeff.
And not a problem. Matt said he thought he was getting a nameplate graphic. Fair enough, Matt. And he said he looks forward to seeing you in Bacchus March on Saturday, Nick. And you might even see me there. I better send JXT a message. That's right, this Saturday. Mayhem Pro, bad to the bone on Saturday, June 28th. Tickets are moving quickly. So if you're planning on going, you want to grab one soon. Professional Championship Wrestling down there in Ferntree Gully. Carnage on Saturday, June 28th. South Australia, well, you've got two great events this weekend. Riot City Wrestling, Mean Street Mayhem 40. They're what's it called? Their training facility show. That is on Sunday, June 29. ACW, Adelaide Championship Wrestling Collision Course. That's kind of where RCW wrestlers go and let their hair down and be all kinds of silly. That's on Saturday, June 28th.
It's because they've been taken over by new management now. They've really modeled themselves as the promotion that gets everybody ready for the other places, which is great. It's a smart thing to do. It's what Mayhem are building their stuff on. It's a really smart model to do.
And Mr. Cliff's a babyface there?
Yeah.
Maybe?
He's a babyface in Riot City, isn't he? He's a babyface everywhere now.
If not yet, he will be.
I think he will be very soon. Queensland up there in your neck of the woods, Todd. Pro Wrestling Power, Razor's Edge 4, Saturday, June 28th, without Razor Ramon. Wrestling Allegiance Rock Anthem, Hampton, Mortal Kombat 4. What is it with fours up there in Queensland? That's also on Saturday, June 28th. And United Pro Wrestling Entertainment, also Saturday, June 28th.
Yeah, that's their R18 show, the Soapbox. So it's in Fortitude Valley. So get around to it if you're in Fortitude Valley and you want to check out a pre-drink and check out a show.
Or a Brisbane Fed?
Are
they a Sunny Coast Fed or?
Yeah, they're a Sunny Coast
Fed.
They're
they're sort of halfway, aren't they?
Yeah, they're starting to do their show. A lot of their shows lately have been out of like Aussie World, which is like where the old Edamogga pub.
Yep.
Is where So that's where they do a lot of their shows, but they've started doing like R18 shows at Fortitude Valley. Because if you're going to do an R18 show in Brisbane, you do it in Fortitude Valley because you get everyone going out pre-drink at the show before they go to the valley. So that's where they are this weekend.
Cool. Anyway, get along to that. Also, New South Wales, the big one, PWA, Pro Wrestling Australia, King of the Metro. That is on tomorrow night. I believe it is streaming live and free on YouTube. Australian Wrestling Superstars. Just got to get the one in. Also on Friday, June 27, IWA, International Wrestling Australia, Chaos on the Coast. Saturday, June 28th, and Wrestling Go! The dogs are out on Saturday, June 28th. I screamed that because it's in capitals.
Because it was in capitals. Yeah, I know. I got you.
Yeah, I know you got me. The card for the big one, of course, PWA's King of the Metro. It is live and free on YouTube. How exciting. We have...
I don't know if you noticed, but when I wrote that in the sheet, there was no free. It was just live on YouTube, all right? Stop adding words. Stop adding words to the script.
I'm not adding words.
Like a tick.
I'll do what I fucking want. You're not my dad unless you're getting something from Brian fucking Alvarez. All right. The Solar PWA match. Robbie Eagles against Michael Spencer. I can't really see Spencer winning, but yet, who knows?
Wrestling will win. That's who will win that match.
That match will kill.
Wrestling will win.
I honestly see that as the soul means more than the world title to me because Robbie has that gravitas. So, but yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. The Backslide Girls, Everett Connors and Shay Cassidy against the Velocities, Jude the Dude London and Paris de Silva for the PWA tag title match. Sorry, Todd, it just is Jude London. I slipped the dude in there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you said Jude free on YouTube, London, I would have been pissed, but
because the show's free on YouTube.
Yeah, I hear.
There's a gimmick there somewhere.
You asked for it yourself. Who have you got in that one, Nick?
I'd say probably the Velocities, just because they got the New Japan thing. You'd think they can have the belts seen on New Japan World, and like the Backslide Girls have had the belts for what? Close to a year now, is it?
No,
6-8 months.
Hasn't been that long.
I thought they won them sometime last year.
They might.
Okay,
actually.
That's
okay.
Well, there you go. Sorry. I thought they'd actually had the belts for quite a while. I can't actually even remember who the previous champions were.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Oh,
it was
AJ
Pearson. Yeah, Bell Pearson. Bell Pearson.
Which that seemed to end pretty quickly too. So, but yeah.
Todd, who you got in that one?
I think if the Velocities are scheduled to go back to New Japan for a bit, I dare say they'll be taking a bit of hardware with them, which kind of sucks for their luggage.
Yeah, those things aren't light. The PWA heavyweight title match, Chevs, is going up against Kai Drake. Todd?
Well, we all know who's walking away with this one. Like, $1 bet on Sports Bet. It's Chev's walking away with it, but it's a great platform for Kai to get some exposure, which is the biggest thing out of this, I think.
And I would hope out of this too is if they do the whole North Shore Wrestling thing on it, is they actually make them look like go all the way with making them look like the main bad guys instead of like they kind of want to sit on the fence between they're the vicious bad guys, but they're also a bit of Keystone Cops as well. It's like make if they're your mountain for your whoever you choose to be your babyface hero to overcome, make them look like a mountain.
Yeah,
I agree with you there, Todd. I also think that Chevs is going to win that. Absolutely. The PWA King of the Metro, again live and free on YouTube tomorrow night. Nick, who do you think?
I'll let Todd go first on this one. So,
Yeah. See, it could be Tucky. Could be Scott Green.
Yes.
It could be the guy that we always talk about who we want in, but I don't know if it will, because I don't know if they're just trying to save Braxton till like Coliseum. So maybe they let Braxton get really close and then screw him.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But it's one of those things where there are a lot of really good ideas that they could go with.
I've got a name.
My one is I would actually go because is it expressly that the winner of the Rumble gets a shot at the world title or any title?
I think
because I was almost going to go for the thing on it is in my perfect sort of world is it's obvious that what they're building to is Braxton and Chev's. You know, Braxton's the big challenger for the title. They've had the history together. That's okay. If they were going back on a previous story that they seemed like they were really building up, I would actually have Tucky win the Metro, but I wouldn't have him go after the world title. I'd have him go after the Soul because that's his whole story of a learning of him sending on his journey overseas and in the first place. So it would, but I know that's probably a little bit meta on my part, but
it's all right. We don't have Lachlan here to do that tonight, so
the team is strong this one. But I'd go. I don't know, Tucky. I would probably go. For me, I would go with Scott Green as the guy.
Yeah, I would like Scott Green
because of the team. Like Tucky's obviously the one that gets a lot of the focus on PWA, and obviously when they've gone down to Melbourne and stuff like that as well. I think like it would be a bit unexpected. And obviously, at some point, Tuckman's going to be, I'm assuming, the guy in sometime in probably 2026. So maybe hold off on that for like if whoever wins the Metro is just going to be the placeholder challenger until you get to the inevitable Braxton Chev's thing at some point, then why waste Tucky having his big moment in just being like a placeholder?
Yeah, I tell you, and Scott Green comes across to me very Jimmy Townsendy.
Yeah, he
just needs that little extra thing, and I could see him as a big player at PWA.
Can I throw a name at you? We all know that Ricky South is leaving Australia.
Having him leave is,
I think he's going to win it, and then his last show will be putting Chevs over. He's going to win it, and because the crowd know he's going, they're going to go nuts for him.
Well, and then everyone else over.
Yeah, and then he'll put Chevs over on the way out, and it'll be beautiful. It'll be really nice, and it'll be old school.
I don't know, like that he's gone. I know he's moving.
Yeah, I think he's coming.
I believe he's coming back periodically.
To do shows. To be honest, it's interesting. Well, like if it's a Rumble and it's something like if you're going to have like Braxton get screwed over, and obviously you got the dropouts are obviously in the feud with North Shore Wrestling too. So you're basically that's your 6 versus 6 sort of deal. Anyway, I actually wouldn't mind seeing them because everyone watches Rumbles now, and like 2/3 of the Rumbles, like, well, that the match doesn't really have any weight because the real stars haven't come into it. Like, we know that person's not going to win. We know that person's not going to win. We know that person's not going to win. If it's a placeholder person for somebody for Chevs to beat on the way to wrestling Braxton, when the big, for all the bickies, why not someone like Rita Stone? Why not someone like what's her name? The other backslide girl, sorry, her name completely forgot me.
Shay.
You've been putting her over a lot of late.
Yeah.
Shay, Shay. The crowd loves Shay. Like, okay, like she's made such massive steps this year. Like, maybe a litmus test to see how she goes in that sort of position. You know, like
I swear I thought you were going to say Big Fudge. I
somebody
was like, they've kind of done Big Fudge already.
or even like, you know, do Chevs vs Paris or something like do something like something that people aren't going to expect. It's the thing, because it's like, because I don't think anyone's going to buy that whoever wins, unless it's one of the 2 or 3, like unless Braxton wins the Rumble or something like that. Like I don't think, as long as it's not the fire truck guy, maybe we can hold off on him. The Bonds' mate, Although to be honest, I would actually, as a bit of trolling, I would find that absolutely hilarious. So if they just ganged up on everyone and threw everyone out, and then him and Bonza won the Rumble together,
that'd be funny.
Oh god,
that would be funny. Look, it's going to be great. It is on tomorrow night on YouTube, so check it out. It won't cost you anything.
Oh, it's also the show we'll be reviewing next week as well. So
yes, I'll be. I'm away, as I said, because I am traveling. Of course, next weekend. Speaking of next week, the Ballroom Brawl. Listen to this: over 1,000 tickets have been sold.
Yep.
So really, really well done to the MCW crew. That is a phenomenal number. Only GA tickets are available right now at mcwtix.com.au. The event is suitable for people of all ages. Let's go through the card. The Intercommonwealth title, Adam Brooks against Lucky O'Leary. That is going to be a lot of fun. O'Leary's really good. The winner enters the Ballroom Brawl last. Ricky South against Tommy Knight. That'll be very good. Big meaty men slapping meat. The MCW #1 Tag Team Contenders Tournament. Rapid Water, which Mitch Waterman and Ryan Rapid are going up against Nick's favorite wrestler in the entire world, the Clydesdale, and Anth Cava.
Boy, ride with Clyde.
That should be great. Gotta ride with Clyde. Mixed tag action.
If Clyde and Cava go over in this tournament, I don't know how the other 1,000 people here, but I will drown them out, losing my absolute shit. I will pop so much if they go with them too. I will, Clyde is the man. Like, I have no idea where he's come from, but I pop for Clyde.
When he came out of that MCW show, I thought you were going to have a child. I literally thought you were going to, because I was standing next to Nick and he was so excited. I thought he was having a child.
To be honest, the only other time I'd seen him wrestle was him getting killed by 13 in 10 seconds. If you want, that's an example of I'm a jaded wrestling nerd, and I pop for this guy based on simply on his promos and his character. And it's like, it's amazing how far that can go. Sorry.
Oh, God. We then have mixed tag action. Erica Reed and Kate Manag against Culture, Eugenie and Moko Kai. And, of course, the Sacrament, Edward Dusk against Rocky Monero, continuing that really, really good story that's going on now at MCW. And then the big one, the Ballroom Brawl, the 30-man Rumble. Look, I'm sure you're going to talk about it at length next week. It's going to be a great show. If you haven't already gotten tickets, get to that. Now, if you are over there in WA, or even if you're not, the Roxy Riot Pro Wrestling Scholarship, and that is beautiful.
Well, just before they are doing the EPW School of Pro Wrestling. They do the little seminars once a year or twice a year usually, where they just get people from all over the country. Yeah, exactly. With David Storm and Damian Slater leading the pack for it. It's on from October 7th to the 9th. I don't know how many spots are still open for it, but you can just email them and email EPW School and to apply for that. But there is also
done it previously,
There is also something that popped up. I think it was last night, and it's done. Funny enough, it's sponsored by someone who's just a fan.
Gabby,
Yeah, Wrestle Gabby on X. Give her a follow. Amazing work by her. Amazing work from Damien. Amazing work from Davis. Amazing work from the whole crew. What it is. It's the Roxy Riot Pro Wrestling Scholarship. They're offering a free admission to their October 7th night pro wrestling camp exclusively for a passionate female wrestler, which is great. It's great to support that section of our industry. To apply, you guys just simply have to answer these 3 questions. Why do you want to attend this camp, and what do you hope to gain from it? Tell us about your wrestling journey so far, and how will you use what you've learned to give back to your community? Like I said, I've said that I've shared the post on all of our socials and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If you're a female wrestler out there, you just started out, maybe you're a year or 2 in, and you really want to make something of this, you've got nothing to lose but applying for this thing. All you've got 100%. To do is pay your way to get over there. I'm sure they'll be able to find some accommodation for you, because that's the type of people that they are. It's an amazing, amazing opportunity for anyone. Like, if they were doing this for just like normal, like all sexes wrestling, this would be an amazing opportunity. It's even more amazing that they're giving a very underserviced portion of the industry this chance. Submit your answers via DM or email them at info@epwperth.com. I really do encourage you guys, or girls, to get around this. If you really want to make a name for yourself, if you really want to accelerate your journey in professional wrestling, you're not going to learn from 2 better people than Damian Slater and David Storm. You've got 3 days to do it too.
I left a comment on Gabby's page where I said, like, to me, like, we all get caught up in the minutiae of being a smarky fan, or like, I don't like this or I don't like that, blah, blah, whatever. She's somebody who is extremely passionate about a relatively new fan to like wrestling at the independent level. Like, she only got into this
Australian wrestling
years ago, or wrestling outside of WWE, I even believe. But like, she is such a passionate fan that like she's literally putting her money where her mouth is. She's so passionate about it that like I don't like. I will talk up everyone till the cows come home, but there's a big difference between what's like someone like what I do to someone actually going, I believe in, like, not even someone that you might not have ever met, but you believe in the whole so much that I'm going to plant the seeds and water the tree that I'll never sit in the shade of. Like, that's,
yes.
I really, like, we go on Big Footy or stuff like that, or like on some of the groups where you get all this snarky sort of stuff. Stuff like that makes me actually really proud to have, like, to be a part of a community with people like that.
Yes.
Because that's what, that's pretty cool. Like, and also the fact that, like, she
didn't even want any credit for it either. Partner, she got outed by people that she'd done this.
Yeah, 100%. And but like, also, like, I saw the post from Roxy's partner, like,
Brendan,
obviously, like, where he's like, like, that's something that she would have loved. And I thought, like, people use, I was friends with someone like this, or like as a way, almost like to gain clout or something like that. It's like, well, if you cared about somebody, it's like, do something that they would have done. And it's like that actually like lit a fire under myself. It's like
I'll be honest, I looked at it and go, why didn't I think of something like this shit? Why didn't I think about doing this?
Yeah,
instead of just going,
somebody who has the privilege to be able to assist somebody's journey, so there's assisting. So that's it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I hats off to all 3 directly involved in this decision. So hats off to Gabby. Don't know who Gabby is.
No,
well done.
Follow Wrestle Gabby on X. She's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not on X, but well done you. I really admire people like yourself who don't just talk the talk but also walk the walk. Well done to Davis Storm. Dave, what a lovely, lovely thing to do. And well done on roping that Tar Heel that is Slater into agreeing to this. How did you do that? No, seriously, well done, Slater. I think that's a lovely thing you've done, and give yourselves a pat on the back for doing the right thing, and also honouring the memory of someone who was clearly quite widely loved.
Yeah. So for those of you that are listening out here that want to be a part of that, they're a female wrestler, they're involved in it. Hit up the EPW, like their Facebook or their Twitter or the 100%. EPW School of Wrestling or the World Beater Wrestling. Like find a way to find it and apply if you want to, because it will be so very beneficial to your career if you get a chance to do it. Trust me.
I would love
a lot of people I know have been.
Yeah, I'll let in a sec. But like, I would love to see somebody from like a woman from a smaller promotion, or maybe who trains and puts the effort in, but maybe doesn't necessarily have the access to that higher level of training.
Yeah,
get that, and then bring back what they learned back. Like, and that would be the course. But like, either way, there is no loss. Like, there's no downside to anything on this. Like, it's win-win all around.
I can think of 3 or 4 girls off the top of my head up here that would benefit amazingly from that.
I can think of several down here, and in fact, some.
I'm not going to name them, but 100%. One of them watches every week, and I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
I can think of several down here.
Anyway, we'll take. Oh, sorry. I just wanted one thing. Sorry, Jeff, and I will let you go. But even on the fact, like, the training isn't just for people who are on shows, I believe. It's also for, like, the actual the seminar, I believe, is actually for trainees of a certain level as well. So I believe. Yes. So it might be somebody who hasn't debuted on a show yet. They might have a journey. There might be someone that you don't like. That's what I think the beauty of it might be. This might be someone. It might open a door for somebody completely new. Like, sorry, Jeff, I cut you off completely, man. So,
not a problem. We'll turn the page on that one, and we'll go to a little bit of a break. Thank you, Nick. I thought you'd pick that up, and you probably did it as well, Todd. We'll turn the page on that. We're going to go to a little bit of a break. Todd, for my own bladder's reference, what's the last ad, please?
A great question. It's something to do with Ballroom Brawl. Would be one of the last promos.
Okay.
I can't remember what order I put it in.
That's a great way to cover and end on such a beautiful and positive note before our break. But of course, we haven't spoken about wrestling around the world. And believe me, at this time of year, as always, there's a lot to talk about. And this week, there's a hell of a lot to talk about. So we'll be back right after this.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble!
I can't believe you talked me into this.
Listen, Aaron, I am deeply sorry that I eliminated you out of those last 2 battle royales, but King of the Metro is a clean slate. You need a buddy? I need a buddy. Maybe we can help each other out.
I guess.
All right, cool. Let's go to the Metro. I think it's that way. Let's go.
Fudge, the Metro's right there. Idiot.
Hey, you ever been to KFC before? Here, I'll give you a lift. Come on, man. Just gonna put you back into it. Do you have any money? Do you have $1? Do you have a credit card? You know, I was gonna buy this place once, but then I was like, it's probably not big enough. I had like really big buildings, taller, big, massive, emasculating. Hey mate, do you mind taking a picture for us? Is that cool? Big smiles, all right. And flex. Thank you, brother. Champion. So the thing about crypto, right? Let's go spin some of these cars, huh? Shh, don't tell him. Oh man, I'm getting through to him though, slowly but surely. seen your face. He was really scared. Fudge Coin is the future. It's happening right now. You could be a big investor. You could make millions of this. Or like look and spin on some cars. Yes, I'm gonna throw you over the bridge like I'll throw you out of the Rumble. Come on. Got to tell you, I haven't pooped my pants in like 2 weeks. That's like a world record for me. I'm personal best. Just kidding, man. I'm just joking around, you know. It's just all right. I'm sorry, man. I'm deeply sorry. I'm just kidding, man. No, I'll take it easy on you, brother. I swear. I won't eliminate you for a 3rd time, as if. Can you help me locate the Metro Theatre? This is going to take us to the Metro for sure, though. Hey, brother. Aaron, it's for you. Shoelace is untied, man. You might want to fix it up before we go on. Hey. Hey, what's up, my man? You remember me? Hi, it's me, Little Fudge. I'm your best friend. Please like me. There's no one on the phone, you dickhead. Guess he's walking. Look, I told you the Metro was
Punch.
here all the...
I've had enough of you. Leave me alone.
You're so angry all the time. Maybe it's because you've never had a real friend like me.
I don't know, maybe you are right.
You just got punked.
Whoa,
Whoa, hey now.
I swear to God, I swear on my life, the next time I'm here, I'm throwing you out of the Rumble.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Because one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever know. Because one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever know.
I chose him for a reason. This is going to be all about you.
You see, 3 years ago, I stood in this alley, wanting to ascend to MCW, to be given opportunities that I never got beforehand. And now 3 years roll by and I think I've done just that. I've stood in the ring with golden boys, with gifts, with superstars, with legends of this business. I've been award winning. I've been a dual champion. But there's just one thing that has eluded me so far. One thing that can cement me as the greatest. The MCW World Championship. But this year I've given myself the best chance I can. I know for a fact that I won't be number one. That I have given myself the best opportunity possible to win the ballroom brawl and punch my ticket to the World Championship. This is my time to cement my legacy as the greatest in MCW.
Yeah, that was I really enjoyed that, the Big Fudge Aaron Jake promo. So good, so funny.
I like the work Jarvis is doing in promo at the moment, because he seems to be more serious as a face than he was as a heel.
But no, just the fact that Fudge just kept going soz for that, mate. Soz.
Yeah. He's the most unlikable babyface ever, because it's like, as a character, what a dick. Like,
yeah, you're such a dick, but I can't stop laughing at you.
Laughing at him, yeah. Yeah, it's like those two as an odd couple is actually quite an interesting.
Yeah, that bit when he knocks the phone over, there's no one there, you dickhead. Ha! I'm like, oh my god, you just want to punch him. And you know that's going to play a part in the Rumble somewhere. You know that he's going to eliminate him again by accident, possibly. But yes, that's like this tomorrow night. PWA Rumble. Then in 2 weeks, I think it is, or a week after that. 2
Next
weeks,
weekend.
MCW.
Next
weekend?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's next weekend. MCW's Ballroom Brawl. It's a big season for rumbles and things like that. It's also a big season for injuries, and unfortunately, a lot of injuries in WWE at the moment. Earlier this week, Bodyslam.net reported Chad Gable as legitimately injured, although the exact nature of the injury is unknown. On Wednesday, PWI Insider reported that Gable is scheduled to undergo shoulder surgery in early July, and there is no timetable for his return. At the same time, and I don't know how this happened, it's a pure coincidence, but El Grande Americano is also injured and expected to be out for around the same amount of time. Just approximately.
It's unfortunate losing those two guys.
Yeah, losing both of them.
How bad could their luck be?
Oh, I know. I did see a funny thing the other day where somebody said they should get Kaiser to play El Grande.
That would actually be quite funny.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Interestingly, Kaiser. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead, mate.
Oh, there was the way some fans react to things as well. Like I saw some fans there was a post that got shared around a lot on socials that I think it was with Kyrie reacting to Liv's injury, that she was playing and why isn't she? It's she's trying to still maintain the illusion of kayfabe, you dickhead.
Yeah. She also doesn't exactly know what's going on right now.
Doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, wrestling fans.
They are no. Do you know what they are? They're not wrestling fans. They're usually people that have paid for their account and they're trying to get engagements.
Yeah.
So they'll go out there and they'll say that bullshit thing, so people will get upset and complain because every little click, every little response, they get some money for.
Yeah, probably. So I was just
which is one of the worst parts about that now.
But speaking of injuries, Kevin Owens gave an update on Cody Rhodes' podcast, What Do You Want to Talk About? And he talked about how he's feeling. He said, it's been such a frustrating process. We're trying to let my spinal cord heal as much as it can on its own before we go in for the surgery. How extensive the surgery will be depends on how my spinal cord looks before we go in there. The trauma happened back in January. It was building up, but January is what did it. Then we had this nice and easy ladder match where nothing crazy happened at all, and I kept going for a while. The first week in April is when we had the MRI, and they were like, you can't even get hit. Don't get hit. You might die. Everything took a turn, and now it's been 4 months since my last match. We're waiting until mid-July to do the surgery. Hopefully it's a normal neck fusion. It might not be. We don't know. Since then, I felt fine. My neck has been fine. I'm not in pain. I've not really any symptoms of what you would expect someone with a spinal cord injury to have. Pario mentioning that the pod is very entertaining.
That's on my list to watch at the gym tomorrow.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously we just want Kevin Owens back in the ring, but more importantly than that, we want him healthy, happy, safe, and to be able to be with his children, including a very tall son.
Yeah. I know he's been talking to TJ Wilson and Randy a lot about that sort of process with the neck thing. So, and those guys are the ones that pointed him towards like the best spinal surgeons they can. So hopefully it's more of a Randy option and not a TJ option.
Yeah, it would be an incredible shame if it's a TJ option. Nick, anything to add, mate?
No, it's a really. I saw like Kev's thing where he was talking about. It's like I thought it was just a really interesting contrast of how much, obviously, he's an old, like he's in his 40s now, but like the guy that I remember seeing on Ring of Honor shows that would do some of the most ridiculously insane sort of things, and like the growth of my health and my family and my life. Like wrestling is great, but like I thought that was really like a really interesting change of events. But on there, like such a well-spoken like ambassador for wrestling as well. Like someone who just such a one of those guys that I could listen to on interviews like all day.
Yeah, I really I had to put off because I wanted to watch the podcast. I literally put it off because I'm like, it's an hour 30, and I want to make sure I have that whole hour 30 where I can watch it and not be pulled one direction or another, and not have something I have to do at this time. So it's one of those ones where like I want to sit down and watch it because I've seen the little clips I've seen for it. They look really good.
Mm-hmm.
So as you both know, I was lucky enough to be part of the media scrum last time WWE were in Perth, and I met a bunch of them, and the only person that intimidated me was Kevin Owens. Just because it's Kevin fucking Owens, man. Look, he's amazing. But I want him healthy. I want him knowing that he's gonna watch his children grow up and be wonderful people. You know, you want him healthy and you want him well. And,
I don't think it's a case of like his life being really, really altered.
100%.
I think it's just a case of whether or not he'll wrestle again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And look, let's be honest. If he doesn't, he's probably got a job connected to wrestling and specifically in WWE for life.
Oh,
his
100%.
promos are believable. Everything he says is believable.
Yeah, he's too talented when he came different out, aspects of wrestling.
Yeah. But also a thing of as well is you're also looking at the thing, if he had like a shorter run and that's a bit disappointing. It's like when you actually figure like his career is 25 years.
Yeah.
Debuted in 2000. So it's like if you look at like a lot of wrestling in the last 2 decades, like the Ring of Honor situation or like the indie influence of WWE, he's one of those guys who's a line that runs straight through the middle of it. And I don't think him and Sammy actually get as much credit as they should for that. Because obviously people talk about people like Punk or Joe or Rollins or AJ, but like he's as much a part of that as any. And like, I mean, if he's done like the guy, for a guy who's self-confessed a heavy-set guy who wrestled in a t-shirt to main event WrestleMania twice, like he was
against
the
Stone
guy
Cold.
trusted to be Steve Austin's last match. Like that's not bad for a guy who openly said that he once shattered a coffee cup in his mum's living room because he was trying to make the Steve Austin glass break by playing these action figures. So like the homeboy lived the dream, you know what I mean? So,
and look, he's and you know we are talking like his career's over. Let's hope it's not.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah.
But
he's got to turn on Sammy one more time.
Even when WWE were at their absolute worst, he was still a highlight. Like whatever he was involved in was still watchable, and it was still fun, and it was still unreal. Speaking of Unreal, Netflix have announced that WWE Unreal will premiere on July 29. Episodes will be 50 minutes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
It's going to be it's going to be that will be an interesting series because that's all
if
about
it's something
the
like
creative process behind it.
I don't know if you guys remember, but they used to have a show on, I think it was on the network, or it might have even been on like mainstream TV, where they did a show where it was William Shatner narrating the NXT going on.
Yes. Yeah.
If they did something like that, like, I thought that would be sick. Like I would be all over that watching that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that's what it is. I've got a feeling that's what they're going to do, which is really, for someone like me, that's very interesting.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. But like I say, I mean, it's 50 minutes. Okay, I'll be there. But it's still, it's a thing. All right, here we go. Let's go on a roller coaster ride. As of recording, so as of right now, Night of Champions is still scheduled to go ahead in Riyadh. Wow. Update today from Fightful. They reported that WWE's flight to Saudi Arabia took off at about 5 p.m. Eastern Time today. There are a number of producers and SmackDown team sent over. A number of WWE staff have been in Saudi for weeks. Another group went over earlier this week and made it after being briefly stuck in Qatar. At no point did the Saudi government, which includes the General Sports Authority for those that doubted the show, that can't comprehend the idea of wrestling outlet having sources around the government, never doubted the shows were going to take place. WWE's early start time for Raw next week is so the company can film SmackDown. The roster will be given the 4th of July off. And the results of King and Queen of the Ring are being kept quiet internally. Yeah. So
we live in strange times, don't we? So
yeah, you don't know. You don't one. I don't think that Iran would be stupid enough to do that, because if they do that, then that's a world war. That straight up is that's their end, because they will drop so much shit on that country. The Orange one will drop so much shit on that country. It's not funny.
I also think it's a situation. I was thinking about this on the perspective of this. So from where the event is being held to the middle of Tehran, I looked at that just out of curiosity. It's about 1,750 kilometers. Just out of curiosity, just for comparison's sake, 1,750 kilometers is about the distance between me and Jeff in Melbourne and you in Brisbane. So, to be honest, it's a thing with the tensions in there. I wonder if that should have, I understand that there's all, the Saudi money and that, but even,
I was thinking the other day, if the Saudi government really wanted to become baby faces in this, they could have just said, "Look, don't come over."
100%, yeah.
Talk about some positive press.
That would probably be better PR sports washing than actually having the event itself.
Yeah.
It's but also it's a situation at the moment, even if they did that,
I can't imagine that they don't have an
alternate venue
plan.
Or something like.
Well, I can't believe that. I can't imagine they don't have a look. If we think some shit's going to happen, we're ready in 20 minutes to bug the fuck out.
Well, obviously you'd have the if something happened, even if something relatively minor happened, the legal shit fight that would encompass TKO of putting employees at risk. Obviously, I think it's OSHA in the US, their health and safety is, the US is a much, but it still exists as a thing. So it opened up a whole can of worms. But on the flip side of it is, even if the Saudi government said, no, you send your guys home, you've also got a lot of WWE and TKO management who are all buddied up to the orange unflushable turd in charge.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh no, well so I would almost see them thinking, "Oh no, we insist." So
yeah, it's strange times. I hope to God that everything
I don't
goes
think,
off without a hitch.
To be honest,
I don't think they would, because I don't think Iran's dumb enough.
To be honest, I don't think it's a thing of. I wouldn't see this coming as being a Iranian thing. I would look at this almost as being, if there was going to be a risk from it, I would see more of a risk from certain factors of the US government wanting to do a false flag sort of situation. But that's me getting my Craig Cole moment on, I guess. So I'll give my tinfoil in my hat. So,
oh my Lord.
Wow.
But it's
Is this on?
I might not make it home from Bacchus on Saturday if he's there. If he hears it, but I'm sure there's probably people who say
he'll be right. He's got matches to try and get against with Dan Andrews and Fed Square, so you'll be fine.
But yeah, it's also a thing of, as well as with everything going on in the world, especially in that part of the world. I understand that they've got the contract and that sort of situation. I just don't see there's enough risk and tension in that part of the world as it is without flying, I don't know how many between talent and crew, how many people, let's say a couple of hundred people that they're flying in a couple of hundred of Westerners just to put that little bit of extra, but at the same time, Saudi is a kingdom. I don't think they're basically untouchable as well. So it's
yeah, but
who knows?
definitely
Maybe they're that confident that they're not even going to consider that a risk. So, but I wouldn't even be comfortable. For me personally, I wouldn't even be comfortable flying through there.
Yeah, well, there are rumors that Dom isn't injured at all. He's just I don't want to do it.
100%.
If that's the case, if they've said to the roster, look, we are still going to go ahead with this. If you are uncomfortable with it, we will find a way to get you off the show.
Yeah.
Then
it's the famous story of going 20 years ago when they used to do the shows for the troops, and they always used to. The rumor was it was always optional, but the only one who ever said I won't go and do it is Rob Van Dam.
Yeah,
and the famous story where Vince pretty much tried to force him into do it, and Van Dam was going to fight Vince in the locker room over it.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot different from Vince to what this group is.
I think it's a lot more of a I would assume if it was Vince, Vince would almost see it as an adventure. To be honest, he's that sort of that wild thing.
Stupid.
Well, and it was also he's the sole trader of sole owner of his company. It's not or it was the amount that it was publicly invested is nowhere near to the extent of what TKO is as well. So I just I hope it's a situation where if the show does go ahead, it goes ahead without a hitch.
Yeah,
maybe it brings a little bit of joy to some people in that part of the world.
I just think I think the risks far outweigh the rewards, especially when they could say, look, when we out of an abundance of care, we're not going to be doing this show. We will make that show up in whenever
6 months. Yeah, or when, it's.
At this time, there can't be a way where they couldn't say, they couldn't sue them for or take them to court for
reasonable doubt,
not fulfilling the contract. When you're what do you mean? There's a war going on. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, Jeff. Go for it.
There's two things. Firstly, this area has always been problematic in that it's geographically problematic, and there's always things and activities that make you go, no, you shouldn't be going there. And some people have been saying that for a lot of years. And as Todd will tell you, I happen to be one of those people. Your mileage may vary, but if they weren't going there anyway, then this wouldn't be a conversation we have to have.
Yeah.
No.
Pario, I think, is right. I think the event itself the event itself would be fine, but the biggest danger is probably the transit in and the transit out.
Yeah, you're good point.
But it's a situation. I don't blame if anyone said I'm not cool with it. So
honestly though, looking at it, it's probably one of the best cards that they've had over there.
It's trolling their American audience that their best show in a while is on the event that's detested by a big chunk of their audience.
Let's go through.
You want to boycott it? Fine. Here's the card.
Let's go through that card. Let's go through it. Rhea Ripley against Raquel Rodriguez. That's naturally very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. In a street fight.
They built the street fight really, really well. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, which is taking the place, as it were. But the story's been building anyway, but it's taking the place of the Dominic Mysterio match. Yep. The Queen of the Ring final, Asuka hopefully demolishing Jade Cargill. You don't think it's going to happen? You think Jade's going to take it?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm concerned that she is. The King of the Ring 2025 final, Randy Orton against Cody Rhodes. I'm actually a little disappointed because I think that this match should have been built up and built up and built up and built up and built up, and not just thrown at the tail end of a fucking tournament.
Well, it's more interesting that they had like both semi-finals and the finals have just featured all babyface.
Yeah. But I would have been quite happy with Jey Uso against Sami Zayn because I think there's a story there they could tell. It would be great. You know. Speaking of All Matters Bloodline, Jacob Fatu is going in against Solo Sikoa, who he loves. That'll be fun.
I've got a feeling that Solo's going to win this because Hikuleo would debut.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah. They got to do something to kind of heat Solo up a bit. Yeah, because he's
running
I don't
the
think
risk.
it would hurt Jacob to lose the belt either.
Nah,
because Solo is so funny. Like if you watch the shtick he's doing, anything he's doing, he's so fucking funny. I think they run the risk of him just becoming a baby face by merit of that alone. So yeah, you're right. They got to find a way to hit him. And finally, the undisputed WWE title TLC match. It's not a TLC match. John Cena against CM Punk. Yeah, I think it's just.
I'll be happy if this just doesn't stink. I don't really care who wins or loses as long as it just doesn't stink.
I think the match will be fine.
It'll be a change from his recent outings.
Yeah. I think you'll probably see Cena at his best because those two always had amazing chemistry anyway. And to be honest,
even in Elimination Chamber,
15 years ago, they were never the most graceful or athletic guys, even in their 30s, and let alone So it's not like there'd be two guys that relied heavily on grace and athleticism losing a step.
Everything they did was always built on emotion.
Yeah, and story. I still love the idea of like the trolling idea of you want the belt so much you have to come to Saudi Arabia to get it. I think that's a really good. That being said, I thought for all the hype of that pipe bomb thing that Cena did online, I was like, that could have been so much more interesting, and I thought it was horrible. I thought it just felt like I understand they were trying to do the callbacks and stuff like that, but to me it just felt like the edgelord stereotype, thinking that he's being like really he's being really
the dumbest thing
you can't say that, you can't say that, and it's like it felt, but I guess that's also John Cena in 2025. What he's almost doing is almost being very forced and being I've liked a lot of his character stuff since he's come back, but I did not like that. I thought it was
the dumbest thing I saw was these fucking idiots online or lunatics online saying that the people he said hi to were ways of saying
the
hi
Bucks
to
and Colt Cabana. Yeah,
I mean, come on, mate, get your hand off it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen this on. Did you see this at all, Jeff,
being on a mainstream wrestling show in 2025 too? So.
They were saying Matt Cardona is Matt Jackson.
Yep.
Nick Nemeth is Nick Jackson.
Nick Jackson, and Claudio
Castagnoli is Colt Cabana.
It's like,
you know what I say?
If they really wanted to, he could have just went, "Hi, Colt Cabana." If he'd have done that, that would have got a big enough fucking
pop,
boom. Yeah, I would have popped. Sorry, out of the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, look. Claudio, Nick Nemeth, and Cardona are,
actual stars in 2025, unlike those other three as well.
Relevant.
And Cardona, being the smartest man in professional wrestling, is already making money off this.
Yeah,
he already has a "Hey Matt Cardona" shirt out.
I love the fact that he has no shame whatsoever. Literally
he doesn't give a shit.
Shame.
Love it.
He's just a giant chill.
Him on Van Vliet was amazing.
Yeah.
I sent that to every wrestler guy I know and said, "This is how you fucking market yourself, boys. Make your fucking money."
Yeah. Yeah, the match will be okay. But yeah.
I liked the Cena promo for what it's worth. I thought, Punk can now go, oh, so you're just a poor imitation of me.
Yeah.
There's going to be
I guess that's cool too. Yeah.
There's some really cool things Punk can do with this, and I think that's what I'm more excited about. I did like the call-outs. I did, honestly, because I was like, how are they going to do the Colt Cabana thing? Oh, no, that's cool, because he's kind of going, I've got more than one mate who's out there.
Yeah, not only that, but there are people that if you look at, there would always been rumors that Punk had done something too, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like it on the fact of we're old enough to remember some of the things, like the rumors that you would hear on things back in the 90s and stuff like that. Like some of the, there's two Ultimate Warriors or something like that, like the conspiracy sort of theories that certain fans would come up with. I just like the fact that that's one thing I didn't mind on it, is that even in 2025, there's still people who will overread into things like, well, I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah.
I didn't watch SmackDown till probably 11:30 that night, and I saw the promo very late, and it actually made me sit up. I kind of went, "Whoa, what's this?" Because I didn't know anything about it, aside from whatever Lachlan had written in our chat. That's all I heard. So I didn't know. As soon as he put him through the table, I was like, oh, they're going to do the thing. They're doing the thing. I tell you what else is doing all kinds of things. It is NXT Great American Bash. What a segues. That is on Sunday, July 13, which will be Monday our time.
I put it down in our. I adjusted it so it was in our times.
Oh, right. Sunday, July 13. I apologize. Hey. NXT champion Obafemi will defend against Yoshiki Inamura or Jasper Troy. Saturday night main event, which is also on Sunday, July 13.
Jeff's dream match.
Our world heavyweight champion Gunther defends against Oldberg.
And just for you, because I know how much you love this. Do you know how you can watch this, Jeff?
Yeah, you watch it free on YouTube.
It's free on YouTube. You can watch Goldberg free on YouTube.
Yeah, look,
I like that now.
You didn't listen to me last week. I don't care. I really don't care. Gunther's going to win. My worry is more that he will be injured, that Goldberg will injure him somehow. We've seen what he did to Calloway. I just don't want him to do it to Gunther. I think that's quite logical. So far,
sorry, Mario's comment just that made my night. Sorry, champagne comedy.
Sure. Pario magazine called me Jeff Berg. Yay. Okay. Moving on. I just don't care.
Sorry, I just interrupted your flow, but I popped for that so much.
That's fine. WWE Evolution, Monday, July 14. It just amuses me that you're like, this will really get under his skin. No, I don't give a shit. Monday, July 14. NXT champion JC Jane will defend and, well, who knows, is going up against Jordan Grace. That'll be a fun weekend.
That's the first match named for Evolution.
Evolution, they're the only match in each of those shows so far.
Yeah, which is on directly against All In, I think.
Yeah.
So.
I thought Saturday night's main event was, or is it?
No, Saturday night. I think All In's on the Sunday.
Well then it will be Evolution. Speaking of AEW, All In, Kota Ibushi.
No, you're wrong. I'm wrong. You're right. I apologize.
Wow. Thank you.
Shut up, dickhead.
In AEW news, Kota Ibushi returned to AEW on Collision to confront Okada, who was also called the newest member of the Callis family. and he had his return match against Trent Beretta today. Kota hasn't been in AEW since November 2023 Dynamite. He looked noticeably hesitant. He didn't quite wrestle with the same fluidity as normal, which is completely understandable considering the injury he had.
Yeah, but like you return him on Collision, and then you debut him the very next week on Dynamite. You know that you could have built this shit up somehow?
And you know that next week he's facing Okada on Dynamite.
Is he?
On a Wednesday, yep.
On a fucking
Wednesday.
On a fucking Wednesday. Sad news for all of us. Buddy Matthews is progressing slower than he'd like in his recovery from that ankle injury. Matthews has been out of action since hurting his ankle in February at Grand Slam. The injury happened while he was making his entrance at the show, but Matthews was still able to continue with the match, though he did not break his ankle. Matthews suffered ligament and cartilage ligament and cartilage damage. He was originally hoping to be back in the ring in April, but that timeline has proved to be too optimistic. The ankle is not recovering as well as I thought it would be. There's no mobility to it. If I can't have mobility, I can't move properly. Once it hits 3 months without healing, it becomes chronic, Matthews said during a new Instagram live. I thought I'd be back in the ring in April. That's truly sad to hear.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, that's really bad. Harley Cameron also posted an update to social media following recent nose surgery in the AEW storyline. The surgery was a result of being dropped face first onto the steel steps by Bane on the May 28th edition of Dynamite. However, Brian Alvarez is reporting that the injury was a work to cover for a previously scheduled procedure. There's no reported timeline for her return. And finally, really pleasing news, Jim Ross is doing well after his colon cancer surgery. In May, Ross underwent surgery for colon cancer. Speaking on his Grilling JR podcast, Ross gave an update on how he's doing, saying he's cancer-free and hoping to be part of All In.
Which is good. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Hopefully he'll get there just for one. I'd like to see him come out and call a match. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Poor dude has had the worst 2024, 2025 when it comes to his health. And it's one of the legends of the game. And you want to see him there. You want to see him doing his thing. I actually really do enjoy at the moment the Dynamite commentary team, because Tony Schiavone's decided he wants to take a step back and just do interviewing and stuff like that. Best move they could have done.
Yeah. Well, All In is on Saturday, July 12th. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley is defending against Hangman Adam Page. AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm defends against Mercedes Moné. Winner takes all. AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada is going up against AEW International Champion Kenny Omega. And there is a men's and women's gauntlet casino match. Casino gauntlet match, I apologize. Sure, there'll be another 509 matches added. But
it'll probably be a great show, though. So
and one or two of them might even be women's matches. You never know.
Oh, well, we never know. New Japan Pro Wrestling announced on June 25th that Don Farley will not be competing in the bout or the remainder of the NJPW Soul Tour due to a loss in his family. Satoshi Kojima will be brought in as Farley's replacement on July 4th, which is the entry match to the G1. To the G1. And speaking of the G1, the A block, Hiroki Goto.
Don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about that because we read that last week, and there's no real point keep going on that until we
July
get 4th.
Until you actually get the full. It'll probably change.
When we get the full field, then we can make our predictions and all of that.
That's completely fair. Just know that the A block play-in match is Ryohei Oiwa against Satoshi Kojima. sadly. So, but our condolences to Farley. If you listen,
that sucks.
I hope things are all right for you, mate. Sorry to hear that. Speaking of things that aren't the best, we talk about things that aren't the best each and every week in the world of wrestling. Nick, what gave you the shits this week, brother?
I'm a pretty positive sort of fella nowadays. So, but there was a thing that I saw, and it was Cody being interviewed for, I think it was like a fan cast or some sort of like official event that he was being interviewed.
It was at
for.
Fanatics.
Yes, and just the thing of where he said, "Oh, I think we're getting to the tail end of this part." Like, I understand the world that we live in now. Like, we live in a world where everything's the curtain hasn't been pulled back, the curtain's gone. But like, and not just in terms of like just in wrestling, but in terms of every form of entertainment. Like everyone, every bit of business is out in the public now. But like, I'd expect that from like someone who's come through the performance center, and it's like, but you're Dusty Rhodes' son. Like your dad is, your dad was the guy that when he had his arm broken, yells, make it good. Just before the Horseman, broke his arm, and the thing like, I would have loved. We all.
You didn't want to spoil.
Okay, we're in a world where it's whatever. You don't have to remind us. That would have been nice to just like to maintain the suspension of disbelief. Like,
that's completely
kind
fine.
Kind of shit me. Like it's like, I liked rest. Like the boom's great, and it's great that everyone's into it, and the TV's up, the money's up, blah 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 blah. But I liked it better before everything was out in the open. Like, and I say that as a wrestling nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I still like to be able to lose myself in watching the thing. And it's like, it's especially like it was a thing of like if when like in the old days that when people used to do interviews with Meltzer or stuff like that back in the day, and it was like kind of like a trade or like an insiders sort of thing, but like the fact that it's on like basically a relatively mainstream sort of thing, it's like I just sort of thought of it on the perspective. If I was like 12 years old and really getting into wrestling now, and then I saw that, I'd be like, it just
unfortunately,
it kills
the
a bit of the
toothpaste is
magic.
out of the peg. The toothpaste is out of the tube now.
Yeah,
not much
I
we
guess.
can do about it.
It just maybe I'm hanging on to the magic, I guess, a bit too much.
I think that's great. I think, mate, that's a little bit of a chicken salad as well, to be honest. Alex Whitehouse, chicken shit. They can't navigate their way around Sydney or Melbourne. So if there were shows on this weekend gone in Sydney, they miss them and they fly home from Melbourne tomorrow. So they'll be missing anything down here this weekend. Yeah, there'll be a great show. It's the Mayhem Pro show. Todd, what's giving you the irrits this week?
I think it would just be the way that WWE have handled this whole Night of Champions deal. Like, really, they should have said, look, as soon as those first bombs drop, we're not going over there. I'm sorry. We just can't do it. I don't want to risk this many people going over. I just don't want to do it. We'll get you back in 6 months.
Something's just come to me. You do remember that they were still so close to running WrestleMania in Florida, the COVID year. Like, they were really close to doing it.
What the point that you guys made before, though, when I was like, that was still where Vince was the majority.
Yeah.
It's like to be fair to TKO on that, and I feel dirty sticking up for the billionaire company, but it's also a thing of, especially with the political climate, not even in the Middle East, but in the US at the moment, how could you pick it? Like how could you how can you pick what's going to happen now? Because like, even if they're going on advice off their State Department, which as a business, that like the anti-terrorism chief is a 22-year-old that was a landscaper a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
I kind of wish that the government took it out of their hands and just cancelled all flights.
made the decision for
to
them.
that
Yes.
region.
But we also live in a world where the United States government is more absurd than the United States Pro Wrestling. So go figure.
Yeah, true. Well, the president is a WWE Hall of Famer.
Well, maybe actually, yeah, when Trump can go into business with Vince one day. Like Santino once said, you put Mac and Donald together and they can be McDonald's and be a team. So
Yeah. Well, like Vince can't even buy the bare knuckle fighting championships at the moment, so he's not doing too good trying to get anything off the ground, I don't think.
it's good shit, pal.
Yeah, look, that's pretty bad. Matty Huss's chicken shit. Tony Khan going out doing interviews with mainstream outlets and continuing to be in super shill mode. His interview with Yahoo Finance was frustrating as he spoke in circles and didn't answer anything.
That's a Tony Khan interview. I've been there.
Yeah, I know. I know you have. I have to agree with you, Todd. I think it's so sad.
Do you know what it is like? It's like I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
It's sad. It's sad that that's how little they still value the people that work for their company.
But it's also the thing, like, I understand that, and I'm disappointed with it, and I don't like it, but I also don't think that we get the same information that they get.
No, I agree.
So for all we know.
But there is something in the world that's called optics, where you see it through a perspective, and the perspective, no matter what we do, this perspective that this is presenting is not one that's really nice. Like, we spoke at length about WWE putting Alberto Del Rio sort of kind of on the payroll some weeks ago. And it just continues this shitty optics.
Yeah. But see, you say that, but in Mexico, he's like a massive babyface now.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if you're going straightly off ethics, confirmed or denied, it's also a thing of Jerry Lawler's got a Legends deal for life, and Jerry Lawler's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, at some point, I get Hulk Hogan they'll trot Hulk Hogan out, and Hulk Hogan's a horrible human being for all intents and purposes. So
Terry Bollea is a horrible human being.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan's a legend. There's two different people in my head.
Yeah, but it's a thing.
By the way, too, chicken shit. Shout out to the his new wrestling venture that has sold a total of 380 tickets to their $30,000 seat arena.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
good on Hulk.
It's really, really funny. That's kind of chicken salad going into that territory.
100,000 people there, and then he'll play bass for Metallica afterwards, brother.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I forgot one thing. Okay. Well,
I'm not editing.
Woof.
No, I don't care. That was especially now. All right, let's go back to the beginning of this half. Of course, I also think I really like JC Jane. I think she's improved a lot as a wrestler, but I want to see her wrestle. I don't want to see her have like one defense and then lose the belt to Jordan straight away. I'd like to see the story be told of her as a shit-eating, honky-tonk man type champion who's, always got her girls to help her. I'm just a bit dismayed that it appears like they might not give her the run that she deserves. I could be wrong.
Without doubt, so.
But the thing is, though, if they don't give the Jordan now, are they sort of really hurting Jordan from it? Like, I don't think JC Jane really gets hurt if she loses his title because she wasn't really that built up beforehand. Whereas
True.
Jordan's had a few chances now, and been very public about saying I've blown the chances I've had.
Yeah, that's true.
I think JC's quite good, but I also see her as in that position of. I could also see her as basically being NXT's Chelsea Green. That if she loses, she can get she's quite good on the mic and she can get heat back very quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, but at the same time, I actually think she's really, really underrated and quite good. And I like the idea of an NXT homegrown getting a moment instead of, because you had Julia and you had Stephanie and you had indie names or names from TNA. I like the idea of someone who's built up through the company being the face for a bit. But yeah.
We're not quite there yet. I'm about to introduce it because, of course, with the bad, we got to bring on the good. And there's a lot to like in wrestling. It's still a blanket of comfort for a lot of people. Nick, what did you enjoy this week?
I've enjoyed quite a fair bit of stuff. I'm Mr. Positive sort of fella, but in terms of something, it's a small thing that I popped for, but with people doing all their online videos and promoting themselves today, the Musketeer video for the Ballroom Brawl of him riding the horse along the countryside and stopping and looking off longingly into the distance and seeing the poster and the smile and then heading off. I thought that is just so
good shit, brother.
Cheesy. So cheesy. Yeah, it's so talk about a guy who gets what he is. And I like the fact on it that pre-COVID, your serious indie wrestling crowd, if you had a character try to do that, they'd be pelted with cans and bottles for being so hokey. But now we're in a time where guys feel comfortable to be, because again, this is an absurd sort of.
Not everybody can be. Not everyone can be Johnny Kickpad's taped wrist guy.
Yes, 100%. Not everybody can be Bryan Danielson. Not everyone can be Kenny Omega. Have fun with it. I like, and by extension, seeing so many guys now making videos and being creative and having fun with their art, but also having it linked back into the shows as a whole. I really dig that as a dork who likes the creative side of wrestling as much as the wrestling side of wrestling. So
that's great. That's me. On you, Nick. I like that. Todd, what pleased you this week, mate?
Well, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I just love Matt Cardona seeing any chance to make $1, doing it. Love it. First thing he does in GCW, get up on the ring on the turnbuckle, turn around. Hi, John Cena. Just so he could have that clip, so he could have, hi, Matt Cardona. Hi, John Cena. And then sell the T-shirt straight after it.
Yep. Brilliant.
That is so carny that I love it.
So little in his matches. He does so little, but he doesn't have to. He probably makes more money than than a good chunk of the WWE roster.
Yeah.
And he does whatever. He has complete freedom in everything
Every time, and I don't know if this is behind the curtain or not, I'm not sure. But every time he comes to World Series Wrestling, he normally sells most of his shit on the first night and then has to really search around for people to maybe be able to print some more shirts up for him for the next thing, because he just sells them. And I don't know how, because it's the third time he's been down here, so you would think most of the people that come to those shows had already bought the shirt. But no, he's so very smart. He's so very smart at monetizing the non-wrestling parts of wrestling.
But also selling merch that doesn't, although he does have some pretty cringy merch stuff too, but he also does have some stuff that you could wear in public, which you can't always say for some wrestling shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. But his cringy stuff is almost cool cringe, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go through some of the chicken salads in the chat. Alex Feinhardt, they are honestly enjoying the Goto IWGP reign at the moment. Yep. They get why people don't, but they're enjoying it so far. Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about wrestling. Yeah, not everyone likes the same
He
stuff.
finally get his moment, yeah.
Matty Huss's chicken
Love it.
salad. Dusk finally getting to PWA and King of the Metro. Let's fucking go. That's
Fuck
actually
it.
where
That's who I want to see win the King to win the Rumble. Do Dusk versus Chevs. Fuck it.
Yeah, that'd be
Fuck it.
amazing.
We're doing it live.
Have your lead villain meet a character more evil than her. There's a story.
My positive thing this week, my chicken salad this week, is some of Chelsea Green's antics in and around Fanatics. She's just like watching clips of her is making me laugh so hard. She puts on this mask and she starts selling all these different cards of different wrestlers, and then she comes to Chelsea Green and she's like, "Oh, the greatest ever, really beautiful."
This one's worth $5,000.
Yeah, it's just so funny.
There was
And
one
then
I saw shared on Piper's socials, I think, of Piper and Alba basically having to do everything for her and basically be her servants. And it's just, Chelsea's the best.
There's also
Speaking
one,
of that, Fanatics,
I don't know if it's the same one, but there's one where like they're running around and they're going, I'm Viper. I've known Chelsea this long, and it's all this kind of catty, fun high school bullshit. And she's basically doing Mean Girls meets a Karen, and it's so funny, and she's so good. Again, she runs the risk of being the biggest face, and she's like, I'm Chelsea. I'm the best. And then somehow on the other video, she gets a card of Zelina Vega and she starts saying how she destroyed the president's dream and all this kind of shit. And she's so good. So good.
That Fanatics thing, there's been a couple of really like funny and good things that have come out of that one. Like the one with you see John Cena with the punching machine.
Yeah.
1,000 people around, he lines up and he goes to throw a punch. I haven't thrown a real punch in years, guys. And it walks off. And the one, like, as much as you don't like him, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the Logan Paul thing?
No.
Where the guy gave him a counterfeit Topps card, like a rookie counterfeit Topps card of his. And he looked at it and he goes, better. So he goes, hang on, how did you get this? He goes, well, oh, no, I got it from, he goes, oh, really? Because it's not for sale yet. How did you get it? And he found that the guy like had counterfeited all these fucking things to try and rip people off by having him sign it and selling. He goes, I'm not signing that.
Yeah, good.
He checked with Topps first. Yeah. I was like, fucking fair play. And he's just like, the reason he said, he goes, look, I know this might mean much to many people, but this is my rookie card. And if I sign my rookie card, it's going to end up being worth a fair bit of money probably in a few years. So I don't want hundreds of counterfeits of that going around.
No, that's fair. I still think he's a piece of shit, but that's fair. So that's it. That's our chicken shit. That's our chicken salad. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Wrestle Radio Australia. It's free. You can do it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcast from. If you do stop by Apple Podcasts, give us a rating and a review while you're there. If you give us a heftier sized review, say like 5 stars, a 5-star review. It helps us get in more ears. Don't forget our socials. We are at Wrestle Radio AU for Twitter and Instagram. Well, Twitter is now X. Wrestle Radio Australia merch is on Redbubble. We don't keep the money. The proceeds go to Beyond Blue and Gotcha for Life, two awesome charities doing great things for men's mental health. Kick Out merch at kickout.com.au for merch of all your favourite Queensland wrestlers and also a lot of wrestlers from around the country that we have spoken about tonight. If you want your merch on the site, if we've got any wrestlers listening in, we normally do, contact them through their Instagram page. Now, of course, there is one more thing to discuss, and that is our social handles. Nick Galea is at Nick J. Galea. The J stands for gentleman. Todd Eastman is at Beast Eastman. Yeah, Todd, I can make it a funnies. Thought-provoking one that was. And I, of course, am at Wrestle_Brainia. Jeff, tell us about
Jeff, what have you got coming up on WrestleBrainia?
Funny you should ask, Todd. That's right.
It says right there, ask Jeff about WrestleBrainia.
Yes, it does, in big, bold yellow letters. I wonder why.
Yeah.
we have an encore season for the first time ever in Melbourne. We're doing a short run of encore shows, and we're really, really looking forward to coming back with guests, different games, different formats. We're going to try and experiment with a few things, and we'll tell you each show will have a different identity, I think. Who knows? We're still working on it, so I'll tell you more soon. So that's it. That's it. That's our show. Have you boys got anything further to add?
No, apologies for being late. That's about it. So.
I actually do. The Mitch Ryder's match for Pro Wrestling League Homecoming was announced tonight, and it's Jake Nova, which will be a absolute ball terror. I think. Like you got pretty much the way I suppose he called himself that. The kind of the gatekeeper for Queensland wrestling for the last 4 or 5 years in Jake, going up against someone who, like, I think is probably the guy now here in Queensland in Mitch. And that's not just because I walked to the ring with him, because I walked to the ring with both of those guys. But yeah, it's one of those matches that I'm going to love because I'm going to have ringside seats. But yeah, I cannot wait to see it. Jake's
always been phenomenal. So actually seeing him back wrestling on a bigger stage, like wrestling on that show that's pretty cool. That's the first I've heard of that, so that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. Get along to that show if you don't. According to Anthony Fermanane,
maybe.
I'll get Fermanian. Thank you very much. Jake Nova returned in February at Venom Pro Wrestling against Tim Cade. Thanks, Anthony. An interesting fact there. Apologies for messing up your name. But don't you mess up. Don't miss our show each and every week about 7:30 here on twitch.tv/Wrestling Radio Australia. Follow us on our socials and other things. Go and see shows these guys are at. See you this weekend at Mayhem. Go and see that show. So, for His Lordship Todd Eastman and the great Earl Nicholas Gentleman Galea, I've been Jeff Setti. Catch your ass down the road.
Peace. Everyone.
Oh, the damn fucking thing.
Thank you, Jamie.
It's going to make for a great ending.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit.